Hey everyone! Welcome to another exciting episode of Family Moments, where we use really cool object lessons
that teach the truth about what matters most.
Exactly. And today, we're going to have some fun with this.
Oh boy, I love hot chocolate.
Who doesn't? And so today, what we're going to do is...
Did you remember the marshmallows?
Marshmallows?
Yeah, I like marshmallows in my hot chocolate.
Well, no, I didn't bring any marshmallows. Because what we're going to do today is we're going
What about peppermint?
Well, no, I didn't bring peppermint either. What we're going to do is a little experiment.
What about whipped cream?
No, I didn't bring whipped cream either. That's because what we're going to do is we're going to do...
Here, let me see that.
What in the world?
When it comes to hot chocolate, I always come prepared.
Oh, brother. Hey friends, Pastor Robbie here, along with today's special co-host, Cameron.
Hello.
And today, we're going to have some fun learning about solitude.
Solitude? I thought we were going to drink hot chocolate.
Well, no, we're going to use hot chocolate to learn about solitude.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. I just have one question.
What's that?
What exactly is solitude?
Well, solitude is a word that usually means being alone and being silent. Or in today's example, it's all about listening.
Listening?
Yes, we're doing a 5-week series called Come to Your Senses, where we will use our 5 different senses to draw closer to God.
Oh, you mean seeing, touching, hearing, tasting, and feeling?
Exactly. Those are our 5 senses. And today we're going to talk about listening.
Wait a minute. If we're going to use hot chocolate, shouldn't we be talking about taste?
Well, you would think so. But let's take a look at our verse for the day. It comes from Psalm 46:10, where it says, "Be still and know that I am God."
I've heard that verse before.
Well, yeah, it's a pretty popular verse, and it's pretty appropriate because we live in such a fast-paced world that we rarely sit still and listen for God's voice.
Well, I would imagine God has a really loud voice. After all, He is God, you know.
Well, that's true, but He often speaks to us in a whisper when we are actually trying to hear Him.
What are you talking about?
Well, there's a story in the Old Testament about Elijah, where God told him to stand on the mountain in His presence because He was going to pass by. And then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind. And then after the wind, there was an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake either. And after the earthquake came a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. And that's when Elijah heard him.
And a whisper? Who's got time to listen to a whisper? And what's this got to do with any hot chocolate?
Well, God wants us to get into the habit of finding quiet time and listening to Him. And so I thought I'd demonstrate a fun way to do that with a little object lesson I like to call the hot chocolate effect. And all we're going to need is a mug, some hot chocolate mix, some hot water, and a spoon. We'll pour our hot chocolate mix into the mug, add hot water, stir it up, and then we'll just tap on the mug with our spoon like this.
What's so special about that?
Just keep listening. The more we tap, you'll notice that the sound gets higher and higher.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
It works. And so today's object lesson is to teach you to take 5 minutes every day. Find a quiet spot to simply listen for God's voice, maybe while drinking a glass of hot chocolate, And the tapping sound that gets higher and higher is a reminder that you should keep listening for God's voice.
And the higher and higher must be a reminder that it's coming from heaven.
Right.
Well, that's cool. What a fun, simple object lesson.
Well, the truth is, if we don't stop and listen for God, sometimes we miss out on what He's trying to tell us.
I have to admit, it's probably more enjoyable listening to him, especially if I'm drinking hot chocolate every day.
Well, you don't necessarily have to have hot chocolate every day to listen for God. But you will find that if you can learn to slow down in this fast-paced world and make time to listen, you're more likely to hear God in a whisper than you are in a storm.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad way to start off the new year.
Yeah, and beyond. Learning to carve a little solitude time with God every day is a beautiful thing. So, Cameron, what did you learn today?
I learned that in a fast-paced world, it can be hard to tune out the noise and find a little solitude time with God.
Exactly.
But if we can be still, we can hear His whisper and know that He is God, and it will be as sweet and as peaceful as a nice cup of hot chocolate.
Very good.
Now, I was just thinking about another little object lesson with hot chocolate and sound.
Oh, really? What's that?
Well, you hold this mug of hot chocolate mix,
Okay.
and I'll pour some water into your mug while wearing a blindfold.
A blindfold? Well, how will you know when my cup is full?
By listening. Watch.
Well, this ought to be good. I think that's pretty good there, Cameron.
Just a little bit more. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think that. Cameron.
Hey, it worked!
It worked. What are you talking about?
See? You're overflowing with the goodness of God.
Ow, brother. We'll see you around.
Hey, why do you pee your pants, Pastor Robbie?